Hey guys, Crusty Old Crow, just gonna quickly show you my Zap and call it a night. Talk about it a little bit, but here he is. So I'm doing that as my Red Devils combat engineer Joe attachment Zap. I'm gonna turn that music down. Just wanted to promote some Leo Kelly for a bit. But let's turn it down. Oh, that's up. Okay, we'll put the slideshow on really quick here. For those of you that were following this, this was a quick and dirty repaint. A little bit of a kit bash with a Todd McFarlane military line figure I had for years that just kind of didn't make it through moves. But originally this is what he looked like. This was the Rick Flag from the Suicide Squad movie. So you see I didn't really paint that much, and I didn't do any kit bashing on arms, legs, because it's a different line, and I don't have any other figures to kit bash it with that would really work out. But my McFarlane accessories worked, and I forced a square peg into a round hole more than once, I guess. So this one I'm a little bit happier with it than with Bull. Nothing against my Bull figure. I like my Bull, but Bull was a different kind of learning experience. I shouldn't exclude him from the shot. Yeah, everybody's here for an explanation, right? But Bull was a different kind of learning experience, really. It was taking it from zero and seeing where I could go with it. But Zap was taking it with a goal in mind, a character in mind, a reason in mind. And if you guys have been following this show at all, I did do some progress pics along the way, but like I was saying in one of my earlier videos, I had actually been working on Zap, unknowingly doing a conversion for him since the summer, in that I had sketches already done of him of what I wanted to do. I'm just going to call up one of those sketches because it was pertinent to the discussion. I'm kind of ashamed I didn't have it aside, so let me get it aside for us here. Because the theme of the week here has been conversions and where I want to go with it. So sorry when I find it there. Zap. Nope. I had a whole thing about it. Jeez, isn't that just like the Crow, eh? Never ready. That's okay. So I'm going to turn them around so you can have the look at the back side, and then I'll talk about what all I did and where all I got the kit from. I'm just going to really try and find that picture in the meantime. But it wasn't the challenge I thought it was going to be, but I would nowhere near say I hit where I wanted to go with this figure. It's just that this was as close as I could get within my capabilities and the tools on hand and my know-how and knowledge at the time. Remembering that I really just kind of started doing this after a few years of doing Warhammer 40K, so smaller weapons, less satisfaction and all that other stuff. But Warhammer 40K and all tabletop armies are really nice to look at in their completion. And I found that sketch. So speaking of completion, that's why you see these other Joes among them, with the exception of Bazooka over there, which we'll keep at a shot, is because the driving thing behind doing a Zap, and because I wanted that original release line of Joe's represented on my shelf somewhere. And I have not heard any mention of Hasbro doing a Zap at any point, and I would understand why. There's a couple of hiccups I would feel about it. But back when I first started this channel, I did this sketch of Zap, and it's not far off from where we landed at all, and that's just coincidence. This was back when I was visiting in Toronto, probably in the spring. No idea I was going to be doing figure conversions. I just like drawing my modern interpretation, and this figure coincidentally worked out extraordinarily well for it. I didn't put rock and roll in the shot, but I had pictured a rock and rolls dry fit kind of thing on them. It didn't work out that way, but one of the things I did work out is what his role was, because I had said one of the things I thought holding up Hasbro for making it was Bazooka. Oh yeah, he's telling you to like, share, subscribe, because he just got his fire team partner that he's needed, his spotter and his loader that I said in his review months ago. He's got that in Zap now. But Yeah, uh, I lost my point exactly about with all of those things, but I have a combat engineer in there. And one of the things I thought would be fun to do was, oh, I was saying what would prevented Hasbro is another bazooka. Two guys with a bazooka, two bazookas, two direct fire. It would be redundant. It would be repeating bazooka's kit, which is already being repeated on the snow serpents. I could see why they took their time and stayed away from it. However, what I wanted to do was hit that combat engineer, like I said, like he is. Forget the bazooka. He could be bazooka's loader, which would make perfect sense. But he doesn't need to have that anti-armor. I do plan on building a couple of, like Scratch building a couple disposable rocket launchers. The M72 Fire and Forgets that collapse. I think I have a good plan for doing a couple of, one for his back where it's collapsed and stowed, and one for his feet and hands where it's extended and ready to fire, and the ends are taken off under his foot. That'll be later when I find time to do it. But the other thing I wanted to do with it was the knife and the gun on this set were terrible. If you have a look on his chest, that little stud knife was just this cheap, hokey piece of plastic. And the gun in his hand, you can see the trigger mech was filled in completely, which later I found was fine because his trigger fingers don't separate per se for the purposes of using the weapons. It's a very limited figurine. I kept mine. It's got the same amount of articulation it had before. It's a bit stiff, and I do have to put my final coat on it, like the varnish protectorant. But it was good enough to show the video for today because the protectorant won't put that much more shine. The last detail I'm waiting to add is I want to put some RDC G.I. Joe patches on here. I have a Red Devils company patch idea that I would like to see translated into a sleeve patch for him and any other future Joe variants I do that need a roll. But remember I said I also wanted Hasbro to explore their desert line, and that's why I kept them the desert color a bit, but mixed it up. So he is a little bit kind of more like the actual Zap from the that day, right? But without that type of harness and the changes that I've given him, I think he's just separated enough that I can call him a variant and not an attempt at doing Zap per se, but a variant. So he's the Red Devil Company variant. Now, features that come out. So this knife I replaced out of my Joe collection. I dirtied it up to match the dust he's getting on his jacket, but I would prefer to have a blackened blade. We all know this, but he's not doing stealth. He's doing combat engineer stuff. So that's fine. The rifle clearly is the same rifle I had originally given to Breaker back in the day, but with more 3D parts and more ideas coming. Breaker can get a smaller weapon, it's fine. This gun really works well because of the sling. And then clearly the helmet comes off. And yeah, I made him older. I'm going to dull down that gray. I think it shows up terribly in the light. Without light, it's a little bit more subtle, but with harsh light on it, I'm not liking that right now. Yeah, but, oh, it's my camera light. Let's see. Well, no, I can't take the camera light away. Anyways, probably in photos. With the helmet, he looks better. But yeah, one thing I did say in my sketch was that right up here, and this is my military experience coming through, guys, he would have hearing damage from his career. As a combat engineer, he's doing a lot of EOD stuff, right? So a lot of ordnance disposal, a lot of demolitions, a lot of loud noises as an engineer he would be exposed to, of course. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff that I pictured him doing. Right over here. Oh, geez, where... Anyways, no, this is turning out terribly for that organization. Is it right at the top or at the bottom? I don't know. My whole talent was unprepared today. But yeah, so where did I get this pack? That's another Camelback from the same figure I got the rifle and the helmet from. But I wanted to show you the hearing aid I made him. Just a little hearing aid to go into that right ear. I picture he had an ear canal burst. And like I said, I wanted to go for an older Joe. And I think when I do short fuse, he's probably going to be less older looking. I'll probably dull that hair down a bit. But yeah, I tried to. The problem again with Bazooka is you have another dark-haired male with a mustache, right? And it'd be too easy for them to look like they're trying to be the same guy. And it's hard to make anything different from that based off of right now. But down the line, I think this is going to keep getting easier and easier. This is my practice fig. This is my Zap. So that helmet, I just had to Dremel that out. I kept the lenses on there, and I just faded the existing colors. I didn't paint anything new to that. The little green panel, that's his GPS, his Garmin, tells him where he is. Nothing more. It's not high-tech Joe Tech. But I put that camelback over his plain back vest because that's how we wear it. It's a little bit bigger than the scale, but I think it's forgivable. And I got that hose on there, which, oh, the glue lifted, but I'll have to secure that down. It's fine if it's free floating. I'll just have to clean it up. But originally that was sat down. So this was all done with just dry brushing, then washing, then dry brushing, then washing. The pants, I just gave a green prime to first after the first dry brushing. And the reason I dry brushed it was because of something that Mike Ma Films was talking about when I was watching his videos on the Star Wars one, is sometimes when you're painting over a painted figure and you're just doing the subtle, you know, change a color that works with the original color, just brings it out more, things like that. Sometimes just putting a wash over it allows the paint to grip that figure better, right? So I put a wash over it and played with that, and that's what I found worked with the chest and the pants. I think the fact that that vest wasn't removable and there wasn't much I could do with it helped make the wash dry faster, so that probably was easier to do than maybe on a classified. I don't know, I'm about to find out, because the next two I have lined up are classified that I've already got primed. But yeah, that's my Zap, guys. My Combat Engineer Red Devil Company, which is the Joint Task Force of Canadians and American Geodos. But that's it, guys. So no regrets. I had a good time doing that, just like I have a good time doing everything else. There's the back of bazookas. That thing shows up everywhere. The back of bazooka's bazooka always falls off. Is that like that with you guys? Either way, I think I'm going to count that as a win for a $10 figure experiment, which is exactly what that was. A bit of a small kit bash and a repaint. But moreover, like I said, I've got that completionist value, and I've got an engineer that can work well if I ever get a tripwire. It'll look well with tripwire, even with Mutton Junkyard and other engineer type assets. He'll fit right in until Hasbro makes them, and when they make them, I don't think they'll make them like that. I think I made myself a fine variant for my own collection of RDZ. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in a couple of days. I'm going to work on some other stuff and I'll get back to you. But there are more characters on the way, and we'll see you when I get them in a state of presentation. Bye.